Hi, my name is Brian. Today I will be going over yet another one of my creative projects that I've been working on for a little bit as of recent. So this is RemedyBot. RemedyBot is a Python code script that summons a bot in the popular chatting software Discord. Discord is a very popular software that has grown in popularity since COVID time during lockdown. It's practically made everybody chronically a little bit online, but it's become very popular as of recently. And it's only been growing in popularity ever since. So much so that they've actually provided users with an API that allows them to make their own bots. Hence what I did. With my bot, I wanted to make it a little bit unique. As of now, I'm currently in healthcare as a pharmacy technician. So oftentimes I do see a lot of people needing consults for sometimes mild illnesses, something that's not too severe, but they usually don't know what to have for those mild illnesses. It could be parents that don't really know what to do with their child, or people that aren't really akin to medicine but want to try it out. This is the perfect program for them. So essentially, what RemedyBot does is it will intake user input based off of symptoms. It will prompt you to list any number of symptoms, and then if it falls within the category of any of these mild illnesses, it'll actually end up prompting you to see the rest of the symptoms on that said list and determine whether or not you have that specific illness, and will also recommend over-the-counter medicine to treat that specific illness. So just want to give a brief overview of the code. This is necessary. This intents is always going to be necessary in order to get the bot up and running. This is the bot object. This command prefix is going to be pretty important regarding summoning the bot. And then we will go on to refine list. We'll go back to this one in a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about the events that are going to go on. Events are something that happen in Discord. So if anything occurs in a very almost in a very translucent place in time, the bot will act on its own. With this specific method on ready, it will just simply give a message once the user logs on as to what bot got logged on. You'll see when we start to run the code. A simple ping command just to test functionality. There's also a couple of commands for diagnosis of a specific disease, and then the remedy as well. I wanted to make sure to keep them separate just in case the user wanted to summon a singular thing instead of having to summon a whole paragraph worth of things repeatedly. With the embeds, you'll see a little bit. I made these commands into embeds, which provides a little bit of differential from the normal text that you would send over a chatbot. With these, you'll see very quickly that I put a little thumbnail. I put URLs that will redirect you to Mayo Clinic or other qualified sites that will tell you more about the disease and the RX that you may get prescribed. It'll also prescribe dosages, tell you the generic and brand names for that said medicine. There's a lot of work that I put into every single disease that I have marked for now. Of course, I do want to specify that with this bot, there is nothing that it will diagnose that is either really severe or that will require a prescription to obtain. So, as much as I would like to have that kind of functionality for this bot, um, I can't really diagnose cancer or fibromyalgia or any sort of severe illness. That's up for your doctor to decide. But anything that might be short of somatic pain or headaches, allergies, fever, almost no severe risks to them to the point where they're safe enough to help diagnose with. So I want to move on to the code. The main function with the spot is the diagnose method. Once you summon this one, actually, I think it'd be more fun if we just end up running it. So let's run the code. Run it through the Python debugger as a Python file. As you can see, it'll tell us from that on ready method that we've logged on as RemedyBot 4435. So we'll head here really quickly to Discord itself. So as you can see, there's a little bit of testing here. I've done a lot of work on this bot. There's been a lot of testing, but let's do it live and demonstrate the code in person. So some of the diagnose method. As you can see, the remedy bot is going to ask us for any sort of symptoms that we may be experiencing. Of course, there is a set list of specific symptoms. However, with the way that I've coded the bot, let's say for example, I'm getting some really bad allergies right now. Feeling a lot of sneezing, some congestion, some cough. So if I tell the bot specifically, I'm sneezing, I'm feeling really congested, and I have a bit of a cough. The remedy bot is actually going to list all the other symptoms of that specific disease that might be what the user has. The interesting part about this is that when I summon this part of the code, typically it's set to print the entire list, but since we discussed that we are sneezing a lot, we have a little bit of congestion, a little bit of cough, these same symptoms are removed from the rest of the list. So there's no worry of having to see this duplicated as well. And this works for every single type of disease that's listed on here as well. Of course, there are a couple more unique cases which I'll go into and demonstrate here. But for now, let's just see if we click yes. Of course, it will give me allergies. It will tell me what allergies are, and then it'll also give me a remedy. So there's going to be a little bit of a thumbnail showing off what the medicine looks like, because be it as it may, I work in pharmacy. Most people that buy over the counter medicine usually don't know what it looks like. So having this little thumbnail would really help people be able to identify and find medicine itself, as well as dosage charts and a hyperlink that will send you to the chart itself. So here it'll tell you about the Zyrtec dosaging directly from Zyrtec.com. And of course, if you want to know more about allergies themselves, it'll take you to Mayo Clinic or any other specialized site that can tell you more about the kind of disease that you have been diagnosed with. So, one specific case I wanted to go over is pain, because pain is very subjective and it does counteract with two other diseases that I do have here, such as headache and diarrhea. So, in this case, if you say you have a little bit of pain, just put the word pain there, but of course you could always just write that you have a little bit of pain. It's going to ask you if your pain is somatic or visceral. With somatic pain, it's often described as pain in skin, muscle, bones, and joints. Any visceral pain is always going to be somewhere around your chest, your abdomen, or anywhere in your upper torso. So, of course, if you could specify, you don't even have to sometimes put the word somatic. You could be like, my muscle is hurting. I feel a bit of aching in my bone. It's gonna try to narrow down what kind of pain you might have. Of course, in this case, it's asking me for symptoms for headache, trying to diagnose a headache. If I say yes, it's gonna give me a diagnosis for headache. Same thing, same format as the previous allergy description. Same thing. It'll give me a diagnosis and then a remedy as well. And this works with a couple different cases as well. So I have diagnose, experiencing a bit of pain right now. So let's say I say that it's visceral this time. It's gonna ask me if I'm experiencing any stomach pain. So let's say I do have stomach pain. My stomach's hurting a little bit. It's gonna present me for what might be diarrhea, other symptoms. If I say yes, I will simply get a diarrhea diagnosis as well as a remedy, which in this case would be loperamide. But there's also cases just in case there is no diagnosis. So just for fun, let's say that we have See that I'm sweating a lot. And I have chills. Like my body really doesn't feel good right now. So, but I don't have any of these other symptoms. The remedy about outright will tell me cannot give a proper diagnosis based on the symptoms that I've explained. So it's going to suggest to reach out to your primary care provider or your doctor for support. Of course, this is just a test spot. I can't diagnose everything personally. I'm not a licensed doctor, but I do work with people regarding very minor illnesses that should not lead to severe harm or hospitalization. So, this is sort of my wheelhouse in terms of knowing what to offer people for specific mild illnesses. Anything outside of that range, I probably will not integrate into the spot. But for the most part, this is the demonstration of my wonderful remedy bot. So thank you for watching. I hope you appreciate and learn a lot of the things that I have implemented into the spot. I'll leave a link for the Discord server that this is in to test it yourself. I also really hope to improvise on this. This is just a demo. This isn't every single mild illness that doesn't really need a prescription or a doctor diagnosis to treat, but this is just a demonstrate functionality for now. In the future, I really do hope to clean up the code, improvise a little bit. I'm going to add buttons, make it a little bit more interactive, and give it more functionality outside of just diagnosis. But that's for a little bit later. So thank you for watching. This is my remedy bot, and I hope you're excited for what's to come. I have a couple of great ideas to really make this bot into a really functional medical equipment tool. Thank you for watching.